I want to share a quote with you. You can speak well if you can deliver your thoughts of heart by your tongue. I think it is quite hard for the ordinary people to accomplish it because our mind and our tongue just can't be activating in the same way. Sometimes what we say does not necessarily mean what we think. So it's really important to use some tools and preparation to help us organize our speech. By doing so, we can express what we really think to our audience. So here comes to my main point. I'm going to introduce 5 organizational patterns for you, including chronological pattern, spatial pattern, casual pattern, topical pattern, and the last one, comparison contrast pattern. Start from the first one, chronological pattern. We use this kind of pattern according to the timeline. We choose this type because we think our topic can be better understood in different time segments. For example, the historical development of National Taiwan Normal University. Secondly is spatial pattern. If we want to build up a map in our audience mind, then this is quite suitable to use this pattern. For example, if I want to introduce some dating place in NTNU, then I can first introduce the main campus and then move on to the library campus, and then is Gongguan campus. In the end, will be introduced Linkou campus. The third one is causal pattern. Causal patterns can be composed by 2 parts, cause and effect part. Usually we'll talk about cause parts in our speech first and then move on to the effect part. For example, if I want to introduce the coronavirus outbreak in China, then I will explain the cause of this epidemic first and then describe how it influences and its effects later. But you can still do it in an outside way. It depends on you, and it depends on which kind of function you want to use in this speech. So it's adjustable. And the next one is topical pattern. You can also call it categorical pattern. In this kind of pattern, there are several categories, and each categories are connected to each other, so it helps the speaker to deliver in a more consistent way. For example, if I want to persuade people to be the vegetarians, then I can divide my benefits into 3 categories. Start from my own experience, and then move on to how it can benefit animals, and then move on to how it brings benefits to the whole world. So each categories can be connected to each other. And then the last one is contrast and comparison patterns. If we want to persuade or make some contrast in a more clear way, we can use this. For example, if I want to persuade people to be the early bird rather than the night owl, then I can demonstrate the charts of lifespans relating to the early bird one and the night owl ones, so they can be more clearly when I show up those comparisons. So these are 5 types of organizational patterns. Let's recap it a little bit. The first one is chronological, the second one is spatial, and then causal patterns. Move on to the topical patterns, The last one is contrast comparison patterns. Of course, you can select or combine up or more than one patterns. It all depends on your contents of the speech and your purpose. So, hope you can learn something from my presentation. Thank you. Have a nice day.